Can Godzilla a big lizard defeat Cthulhu, a god beyond time and space? Well, you're not gonna believe this, but I just gave you the answer to that question. But some people need elaboration, and you know what? That's understandable, so let's do that. Before we begin, you need to know that I once made a 1 hour long video power scaling not just Cthulhu, but the 5 most popular characters created by H.P. Lovecraft. For this video, I am going to assume that you have already watched my video on the Lovecraftian gods. You can find a link to that video in the description. Alright, now let's begin.
Fight!
And I would like to do so by asking a question. Why is this matchup a thing? If you open a new tab on your browser and you search Cthulhu versus, the very first suggestion will be Cthulhu versus Godzilla, which means this is something that a lot of people have searched, and I don't understand why. Cthulhu and Godzilla do not share anything in common, so why is this the matchup for Cthulhu? Is it because they're both big?
For you.
Because not even in this they are comparable. Let's talk about size, because I feel people don't understand how big Cthulhu is. At the time of making this video, the biggest Godzilla ever is Godzilla Earth, measuring 300 meters tall. Meanwhile, Cthulhu is measured in miles. Notice the plural, minimum 2. At 2 miles tall, Cthulhu would be almost 11 times bigger than the biggest Godzilla ever. And that right there is enough for us to stop. With just the difference in size between these two, the question has been answered. We can end the video here. But if we end the video here, Godzilla fans will start rambling about weight. So instead, let's talk about what actually matters. Even if Godzilla was the size of a universe, Cthulhu would still beat him, because fundamentally, Cthulhu is simply much more powerful. See, Godzilla is an animal that lives on Earth. Cthulhu is an undimensioned god that lives in a place entirely devoid of matter, space, and time. This place is so far removed from the rest of existence that the word infinity would actually be too small to describe how far away from Earth this place is. And from this place, from this far away, Cthulhu can affect things on Earth with his powers. Cthulhu could crush the brain of Godzilla from literal infinities away, and Godzilla could do nothing to stop this. And that right there answers the question again. We could stop here, but we won't. Cthulhu is exempt from time. The past, the present, and the future mean nothing to Cthulhu. Cthulhu exists outside these things. So if there was a fight between Cthulhu and Godzilla, the fight would begin with Godzilla dead. This is because Cthulhu could kill Godzilla in the past, and the Godzilla in the present would have no way of stopping this. So yet again, we have answered the question. Should we stop? Absolutely, but let's continue. Cthulhu is more powerful than Dreamers. Dreamers already have infinite power, and Cthulhu is stronger than that. A lot stronger actually, and this means many things. One of them is that Cthulhu does not get tired. Godzilla does, so in a battle of attrition, Cthulhu wins. Cthulhu also can warp reality, so he could do something silly like spawn 1 million Godzillas, and then he could make every single one of these Godzillas 1 million times stronger than regular Godzilla. And then he could make all of these super Godzillas attack regular Godzilla, and regular Godzilla would die. Also, Cthulhu could do all of this from the void, literal infinities away. And you know what the best thing is? Even if Cthulhu spawned this many Godzillas, do you know how much energy he would have left after doing that? Infinite energy! Now, some of you might say, well, you're not being fair. You're only focusing on what Cthulhu can do. Why don't you talk about the abilities of Godzilla? Okay, let's talk about his laser then. Cthulhu can regenerate, so any damage that Godzilla can do is meaningless. Of course, this is assuming that Godzilla could touch Cthulhu in the first place, even if the fight started with Godzilla floating in the void where Cthulhu lives. Hurting Cthulhu would be pointless because Cthulhu can regenerate, and since he has infinite energy, he can regenerate infinitely. And look, we could keep going. We could even get into the whole dimensionality nonsense. Godzilla is a 3-dimensional being. Cthulhu is not that at all. But you know, talking about this is a waste of time, because I hope that by now the point has been made clear. Cthulhu vs Godzilla is a matchup that exists in the minds of people who do not understand how powerful Cthulhu is. As I hope you can now appreciate, asking if Godzilla can beat Cthulhu is like asking if a drop of water can extinguish a volcano. And that would do it. We could end the video here. But I am sure that there are questions a lot of people will have after watching this, so it's better if we address those questions right away. Question number 1 goes something like this. If Cthulhu's so strong, why he lost to both? Does that give you deja vu? I'm gonna be quick with this. Cthulhu needs blood to have a physical form. Without that blood, he goes back to the void. And that is how Cthulhu was quote unquote defeated by a boat. Question number 2. If boat sends Cthulhu to void, can't Godzilla do same? Yeah, easily. But after that, Cthulhu is going to kill Godzilla from the void, and there is nothing Godzilla can do to stop this. Question number 3. If Cthulhu weak to light, doesn't Godzilla auto-win? A dreamer's mere presence is as bright as a galaxy, and dreamers are utterly powerless against the other gods. Godzilla's laser, which cannot even illuminate an entire planet, would do nothing to Cthulhu. Alright, that'll do it, which means it's conclusion time. So, can Godzilla beat Cthulhu? Well, Godzilla is a very old character. He has existed since the 1950s. Obviously, he has appeared in more than just movies. So, it is entirely possible that there are some very strong versions of Godzilla out there. But when people ask if Godzilla can beat Cthulhu, they want to know who would win between Cthulhu and the Godzilla from the live-action movies. And so the answer is no. No Godzilla from any live-action movie ever could beat Cthulhu. In fact, you could combine all Godzillas from all live-action movies, and even that would not be enough, because in a versus matchup, we should always use the characters at their best. No one would put Goku with the heart virus versus Deku. If we want to use Cthulhu in a fight, it is only fair we use Cthulhu when he's at his strongest, meaning the Cthulhu that lives in the void, and no Godzilla from any live-action movie could ever hope to touch that. But what about other mediums? Is there a Godzilla from a manga, or a video game, or a book, or even the back of a cereal box? Outside live-action movies, is there any Godzilla out there powerful enough to beat Cthulhu? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. My knowledge about Godzilla is fairly limited, but I know about a fellow content creator here on YouTube who makes videos power scaling Godzilla. So if you would like to know if there is any version of Godzilla that could defeat Cthulhu, maybe he's your guy, maybe he can answer that question. You can find a link to his channel in the description. I, however, stand by what I said, and I will repeat it. No Godzilla from any live-action movie ever can defeat Cthulhu. That is a fact. Godzilla may be the king of monsters, but even kings are but the means by which the gods control the scenes. And with that said, we can all go home now. I am sure that there will be some people out there that will not be happy with the fact that a frog said that a lizard cannot beat a squid, but this question needed to be answered. Assuming no one else on YouTube has tried to answer this question already. I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't bother searching if other videos about this have already been made. But hey, even then, if anyone wanted to know my 2 cents on this matchup, then there you go, I guess. Anyway, that's all for now. So, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care.